I'm Sergeant First Class Sean Neild.
My name is Sergeant Terrence Dwayne Johnson, Sr.
Sergeant First Class Thomas.
Staff Sergeant Ramos.
Staff Sergeant Hood.
Staff Sergeant Reitnauer.
We are
Fort Sam, Houston.
Caisson. What was a Caisson? I had no idea what it was.
Had a slight idea of what a caisson was in Arlington with the old guard. Didn't necessarily know what all went into it, so it was quite eye-opening when I actually got here.
man. When I received orders to this place, I didn't know what Caisson was. I mean, we were at Fort Bliss. We just came back from Jordan, and they're like, "Hey, here's orders to Caisson." So I went straight to YouTube. I was like, "No way, that's what I'm going to be doing."
Well, coming from the old guard, I knew what a caisson was, but I didn't know that Fort Sam Houston had a caisson.
I did some research when I came down on orders for this assignment, and I never heard of a caisson. I knew what a caisson was.
I learned that a bunch of Army guys were riding horses in a cemetery. That's what I knew the gist of the assignment. Not until I actually physically got here on ground did I realize what the job entailed.
A picture came up with a carriage and horses. I'm like, nah, can't be. And when I got here, I was surprised that, we were dealing with horses, very large horses with their own unique personalities, and
Can you see
I
them?
fell in love with this assignment, with the horses mainly.
Right. When I first learned how to ride, they put me on one of the smallest horses, and I naturally thought, being coordinated, being a soldier, that I can do it. But then once you realize that it's a different animal, and it takes more than just coordination, you get a different appreciation for it. So I fell off.
Knowing how simple you can move them around sometimes is amazing to me. Just the enormity of it. It's all inspiring at first, especially with Gates. It's just a huge horse. It's probably the most gentle horse we have.
So my horse would definitely be Gates. So when I first got here, nobody wanted to ride Gates. Me being a heavy-set dude and how big that horse really is, I was like, all right, I want to ride him. So obviously I had to go through some training and get kicked off a few times. Once I got on that dude, it was awesome.
Tilly. Why? Because he's a gentle soul. Even when he's feeling bad, he makes you feel great. He'll come almost like a cat, rub up against you with his head, and you don't have to do a lot of work with him.
So we do have a horse named Van Autry, as we call him Van. He is a overgrown child, scared of everything, but the most loving, most compassionate horse that I've ever met and ever handled. Down to business. When it's time to execute our missions, he's all about work. When it's not, and he's here back at the stables, he's all about playing.
Van Atcher. Basically, he's a pain. Like, nobody wants to mess around with him too much because he's hard to catch. He'll run away from you all the time, and he's real twitchy, I guess. Nobody wanted to catch him, and I guess I got a lot of patience compared to the other guys, and I'll go out there and take my time and fail and succeed eventually. And we just started working with him, and I don't know, I guess we bonded. Like, he comes to me now. He won't run away, and he'll still run away from other people, but I think me and him have a bond. And I like that guy.
We needed to do something to honor, being that we're here in Military Town, USA, and we have the second largest national cemetery in the United States. They decided to put together a then makeshift section, as you would say, to be able to honor our fallen. So it just happened to be that 9/11 hit, and Karen Wagner, who is from San Antonio, went to school in San Antonio, joined the Army through San Antonio, did all of her medical training here at Fort Sam Houston. They decided to do the tribute to her, and then with the powers to be, through Army North, back then it was Army Support Activities, created the unit that you see today. It just happened to be in 2005 when we became official, per se. Sergeant Major Van Autry, who at the time was Sergeant Major of the Army at the time, he died. So it happened to be that because he was one of the founding fathers for the Caisson section here, we executed our first official Caisson mission at Fort Sam. Was his honors.
My very first plainside honors was one of my old soldiers from Fort Sill, Oklahoma. You know, he died due to injuries he suffered from a car crash, and since then, that's been my motivation to ensure that the family gets total professionalism from us. Because, I mean, what if there was someone you knew? You know, to me, that's the reason why I do this. Is because of him. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do.
It means a lot. I mean, I actually get to be part of laying our fallen to rest, you know? I mean, it's the last thing those family members are going to see about the Army. You want to make it perfect. You want to make it as honorable as possible.
It's a very humbling experience to get to know that you are part of a family's last experience with the United States Army. That's why we don't wear name tags. It's not about us. It's about the family we do it for. And like I said, just knowing you're part of that and to maybe leave a good lasting impression with the families. And it goes back to everybody we do these services for. They've served honorably. It's one little thing we can give back to them.
Honor and appreciation.